Our school system's purpose is to provide children with a classical education, not a political indoctrination. Our K through 12 system, our higher education system, these are funded by tax dollars. These are public institutions, and they must serve the public interest. They are not just playthings for the left to impose their ideology on society. So we're making sure that our education system is moored to the pursuit of truth, to academic rigor, and to giving students the ability to think for themselves so that they can be citizens of our republic, not to impose political ideology or political activism. Now, part of what that means is we honor and support the rights of parents to play a critical role in the education and upbringing of their kids. They have a right, every parent in Florida has a right to send their kid to the best school that they can. And so we have universal school choice in Florida. We have 1.3 million students in choice programs. I signed legislation on Monday, which is going to expand that. And so we've not only done more for school choice than anybody in the history of Florida, we've had the largest expansion of school choice on my watch of anybody in the history of America, and probably anywhere in the history of the world, if you think about it. So we're proud of doing that, but we also want to make sure that our schools are focused on what matters and not going off on ideological tangents. So we have banned critical race theory in our K through 12 schools. We're not going to teach our kids to hate our country or to hate each other. We're going to treat people as individuals. We're not going to divvy them up into groups. And we're going to teach history that is accurate, not history that is trying to pursue a left-wing agenda. And part of what that means is you can say you're against CRT, which you should, but what are you for? What's the positive vision of education? And what we've done in Florida is we've put a new emphasis on American civics in our K through 12 schools, particularly our high schools. We now have them taking tests when they're seniors, modeled after the citizenship test that naturalized immigrants have to take. We have strong civic standards so that they understand the basics. And here's the thing. You're going to have students that go into the workforce immediately, to community college, to university. Some will go into business. Some will go into medicine, finance, all these different things. And those are great paths, and people should follow their heart. But every single person that we send out of our school system is going to be called upon to exercise the duties of being an American citizen. And we owe it to ourselves, but also the people that have sacrificed for us to be a free country. We owe it to them to make sure these students are graduating with a foundation, knowledge about what it means to be an American, not just graduating listless vessels who really have no idea of what they have in our country. And so we've done that, and we even have a course now for teachers where they can learn. I've got people from like Hillsdale College, all these great people that have participated. It's a 50-hour course. If you go through that course, you will know the foundations of this republic. I will tell you that. And we give them a $3,000 signing bonus if they go through the course. So it's very important. We also are the only state in the country, I believe, that sets aside one day every year, November 7th, to teach our students about the evils of communist regimes throughout history. We're going to teach about Marxism and Leninism, all the destruction that it's wrought, 100 million dead in the 20th century alone. We're going to make sure our students understand that, partially because they need to understand it, but partially because they will now appreciate being born in this country or being able to be in school into this country. We believe parents have a right to know what curriculum is being used in their child's school, and so we've enacted curriculum transparency legislation. And the sad thing is, some of the things you're seeing in the schools nowadays are absolutely horrifying, that a fourth grader would have access to books that have pornographic images in the books. And here's what we've done in Florida. We've given parents the ability to fight back, but we've also exposed this publicly. You know, the media and the left will say, if you don't want pornography in the elementary school or something, they'll say Florida is, quote, banning books. That's a hoax. That's not true. Adults can do what they can, get books what they want, but schools, by their definition, have to curate the books that are in the school. You don't have every book in the world in a school. You have like 0.00001% of all books there. So people are making decisions with our tax dollars to put some of this inappropriate material there. So parents have every right to object, and we have every right to not have it. But what we did to highlight how they were lying about this, I did a public event called Exposing the Book Ban Hoax, and we did a video to start the event that just showed what material was being objected to. The local news who were covering it had to cut their feed because it was too graphic and too inappropriate. So my question is, if it's not appropriate for the 6 o'clock news, how is it appropriate for a 4th grader or a 5th grader? And part of what flows from the parental empowerment is it is inappropriate for teachers to be doing things like telling a student that they can change their gender, that they were born in the wrong body. That is wrong, and we do not allow gender ideology in our K-12 schools in the state of Florida. And it's sad that we even have to do some of these things. I mean, I signed a bill a couple years ago. I was happy to do it, protecting women's sports. Our girls and our women athletes should be able to compete with integrity. And how do you have a situation like you saw in Pennsylvania? You swim on the men's team for 3 years, then you switch to the women's team, and you win the national championship in women's swimming, 500-yard? How is that fair? What about all those other women swimmers? The one that came in 2nd place, she's actually a Florida resident. I did a proclamation saying she was the true champion. She got denied of a national championship. And it's sad we even have to do this, but we've had to go after this practice of doing these gender surgeries and hormone blockers for these minors. They will do someone 13, 14 years old. They'll put them on puberty blockers. They'll do double mastectomy for someone that's 15 or 16 years old. Here's the thing. Kids of that age go through a lot. You don't take off their body parts like that. That is not medical science. That is ideology run amok. And so what we've done in Florida is we've done rule through our medical board. Physicians that do that with those minors will lose their medical license in our state. Just that simple. It is ideology run amok. It's woke medicine. It's not real medicine. We've also understood that higher education plays an important role, but it needs to be focused on traditional academics and not ideological indoctrination. So we've already enacted reforms to tenure for professors in Florida. Now all tenured professors must undergo review every 5 years and can be let go at that time. Our legislature is currently in session, and they are going to be passing legislation, which I will sign, to make Florida the first state in America to eliminate these DEI departments from our university system. They say it's about diversity, equity, and inclusion, but in reality, it's using the university's administrative bureaucracy to impose an ideological agenda. It's not, DEI stands for, the way it's practiced, division, exclusion, and indoctrination, and that has no part in our public institutions.